Good afternoon. I'm Malika Arya, Associate Manager Social Media at India IT 360, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to today's exclusive session titled Building Fail-Proof Cloud Networks for Digital Transformation. Joining us today is our esteemed speaker, Mr. Raghav Kathuria, Senior Product Manager, Product Partnerships at Lightstorm. Mr. Kathuria is a seasoned product manager and AWS certified solutions architect with strong expertise in networking as a service. He has led cross functional teams to build scalable, high performance network solutions that enable seamless cloud adoption. Passionate about innovation, he focuses on delivering impactful business driven outcomes in cloud and networking. We're truly honored to have with us today, sir. Thank you for joining us. So, before we begin, here are a few quick announcements to keep things exciting. We'll be hosting a Q&A segment towards the end of the session. If you have any questions during the talk, feel free to drop them in the chat box. We'll try to take as many as possible. And there's a surprise. The person who asks the best question during the Q&A will receive a special prize, so make sure those questions keep coming. That's not all. Stay tuned till the end for our Spin the Wheel segment, where three lucky attendees will win exciting prizes. One gift voucher worth 2,000 rupees and two gift vouchers worth 1,000 rupees. We will also be sharing a QR code seeking your valuable feedback, which will help us prepare better for the upcoming webinars. So don't go anywhere. This session is going to be insightful and fun. Now, to take things forward, I'd like to invite Mr. Raghav Kathuria to lead us through today's conversation. Over to you, sir.
So, starting with this question, which is, can cloud fail your digital transformation, which is the main agenda, main theme of this webinar. So, I believe that by the end of the session, we'll be able to answer this. We'll be able to understand that if yes, how cloud can fail your digital transformation. And if the answer is no, then what are the other dependencies that can hinder your progress towards digital transformation? So, I'll make sure that by the end of the session, we will be able to explore some relevant use cases, some relevant real life examples where cloud failed as a hosting platform, where enterprises need to be very much cautious about how they are building their resilient architecture, how they are setting up the networks, and what actually puts them at the risk stage when they are creating the architecture for their organization. We'll understand that what Lightstorm is all about, what we have to offer in the market, and why network as a service platform, Polarin by Lightstorm, is holding so much for the enterprises when it comes to resilient architecture, resilient network, managing multi and hybrid cloud architectures, and how we are enabling enterprises to build a stronger architecture when it comes to connectivity between data centers, clouds, or multiple clouds. And when it comes to highlighting or creation of these architecture, it becomes very important how you manage the multi-cloud or complex environments. So we'll address that as well, how to manage that, how to evolve as a resilient architecture creation. So when we are building that architecture, it becomes very important for the enterprises to create this scenario where any application peak load or any traffic spike can be taken up by your network. That is the true architecture, that is the true resilient architecture for any enterprises, right? So when we talk about the cloud as a hosting environment, we are not talking about any other product or any other organization. So we'll get on to what is Lightstorm and what is Polarin all about. So let's talk about the industry scenario first. When we talk about cloud, so cloud as a hosting platform, it's very powerful. It's gives you a virtualized environment, compute, storage, any resource, be it database, be it networking, be it GPUs, be it the CDN services, etc., everything. But When your entire application or your business critical application are dependent on cloud, you put or you magnify the vulnerabilities that comes across when you are building that application on the cloud. So it is completely and rightly said that if your app depends on the cloud, your business depends on the resilience. So when you are creating the architecture for the cloud, it becomes very important that how you are creating that architecture. Are you following that well architected framework that any cloud service provider suggests? So the two examples that you're seeing on the screen, which has been the very recent example less than couple of months ago, which happened with AWS as well as Azure, which is a complete outage of their cloud environment, impacting very critical applications across those regions and impacting huge amount of revenue for the enterprises. These outages highlight that how critical it becomes for any enterprise to build a multi-cloud or a resilient architecture if they are operating on a single cloud. So the left side of the screen, which talks about AWS outage, which happened on 20th of October in for US East one region, which is one of the biggest data center in the world for AWS. Their DNS resolution failed, their network load balancers failed, and impacting the region completely. So the applications running critical workloads on these region, which involves, let's say, Alexa, Ring, Fortnite gaming platform, they were heavily impacted. The users suffered high amount of latency, high amount of waiting period, and the loading time, etc. That was increased a lot, which eventually lead to very bad user experience. That failure or that outage lasted for 3 to 4 hours, which is very huge when it comes to the application or front facing application for the for any enterprise, right? And when we talk about Azure outage, the Azure outage happened around 29th of October, which is approximately a week after AWS outage. And the applications like Microsoft Office 365, Dynamic 365, Azure portal, etc., enterprises were unable to access those. So making you at the vulnerable stage where your entire application is dependent on Azure. So consider a scenario where your critical workloads are running on Azure and you're unable to access the platform or access the portal. So that becomes very important for the enterprise to have a reasonable or have a very smart distribution between the clouds or the on-prem setup. Putting all your eggs in one basket is definitely risky. So when we talk about outages and when we talk about the impact that it creates, it becomes very important that how we are creating that architecture and how a company like Lightstorm, a product like Polarin, is creating an impact for the enterprises. Now, moving on to what is Lightstorm is, where I come from, where this webinar is being hosted for. Lightstorm is a digital infrastructure company. Consider it as a network service provider, which builds the network for the cloud, for the enterprises, and for the AI workloads. We do not consider ourselves as the network ready for voice and data, which involves definitely some ring architectures. We consider ourselves a network ready for cloud and AI, which gives you ultra low latency, which gives you highest of throughput and highest of uptime. So any network which is cloud ready, the we are the only players in the country that can provide 30% lower latency when it compared to other telcos in the country. So when we talk about Lightstorm as a company, it is we are completely owned by a company, I Squared Capital, which is a US-based equity firm. And in the past 5 years, we have been running 1,500 terabytes of the traffic on this network, which is by far the best that any telco has achieved in the shortest span of period. So this gives the testimony that how robust and how effective our network is that we are running for the enterprises. Already procuring or already running 30,000 plus kilometer of fiber across the country. 250 plus data centers connected globally, less than 1 millisecond of latency in the metro, which is the lowest possible latency that you can have in the metro region. And of course, when we talk about subsea capacity, 64 terabytes of traffic is running. So that signifies the scale that we have achieved as a company in just span of 4 to 5 years. So this is the global footprint that Lightstorm is spanned upon. So any use case, be it in India, US, Europe, South Asia, Southeast Asia, we are ready to cater that. And currently, our data center footprint is spanning to 8 cities, 8 vital metro cities, covering around 70 plus multi-tenant data centers, where we as a company are present with our core and edge routers placed in these data centers. So coming on to the network that we have built for the enterprises. So the right hand side of the network that you're seeing, which is the traditional network where all the other telco players operate at, they involve the ring architecture, which is ready for voice, which is ready for data to be transmitted, and increases the latency when it comes to cloud or AI workload access. So, especially for cloud or AI workload, or let's say core network connectivity, which involves your data centers as well, you need a leaf and spine architecture, a high, robust architecture which does not involve any rings in between, which reduces your latency by 30%. So, the left side of the slide that you're seeing involves a network that Lightstorm has built in. So all the data that is going over the transmission lines where Lightstorm fiber is keeping up, right? So the chances of cutting down the fiber, the chances of getting the fiber affected by any external influence gets reduced because we are running on top of the transmission lines, right? So any architecture which is going with such scenario gives your workload a high access or a robust access when it comes to a robust architecture that you're building via Lightstorm. Right. So on this network that we have created, which is the left side of the screen that you're seeing, we have built a product which is known as Polarin, which is consider it as an orchestration layer on the network that we have created. So orchestration layer, which provides you a software-defined journey end to end if you want to provision any network for your enterprise. If you want to connect your data centers, your clouds, your internet exchange, your CDN players, anything, your branches, you can do that on a single platform without talking to any stakeholder, without talking to multiple people outside your organization, right? So when we talk about the two pillars of Lightstorm, which are running the show for us, are these two products, which is known as SmartNet and Polarin. So our network, which I was showcasing, is the smartest of the network that we have built for the hyperscalers, that we have built for the content delivery networks like the global leaders, and the network that we have built for the players like Meta, Apple, Netflix, etc. So all these networks that we have created for these global players have been using Lightstorm's network on that piece, giving them a robust infrastructure, a traffic friendly network where they can access this highest of throughput and highest of uptime for their huge amount of or petabytes or zettabyte scale of traffic easily. Now, imagine this scenario where your enterprise or your applications are dependent on the network created by Lightstorm for these global players like Google, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, etc. So we are creating the network for these hyperscalers. Now, when we talk about this network, on this network, we have created an orchestration layer which is known as Polarin, which is a network as a service platform for the enterprises, right? So any of the use case where you think that your cloud needs to talk to any other network endpoint, or your data center need to talk to any other cloud, Polarin can establish that connectivity in a matter of minutes, right? So any of the use case that you can create on Polarin happens in a matter of minutes, and it's all private connectivity. So to emphasize upon this fact, we are the first one in the country to ensure that private connectivity between any network endpoint happens in minutes. So earlier, before Polarin, it used to take 3 to 4 weeks, right? So if you procure, let's say, direct connect service of AWS or express route of Azure, it usually takes 3 to 4 weeks to get it enabled end to end, right? So on Polarin, it's completely self-serve platform. It's on demand. The provision happens in real time, and it's completely pay as you go. Like you interact with cloud, you interact with network now, right? You upscale, you downgrade, you enable or disable your service, you add on to any other bandwidth, or you short term increase the bandwidth, short term decrease the bandwidth, anything that you want, any interaction with your network, you can do that on a single self-serve platform known as Polarin, right? Then the fact is that what services, what we when we talk about Polarin, what services are included? So on this architecture, or on this product capabilities, you can see that SmartNet act as the foundation layer for Lightstorm, or for Polarin, right? So SmartNet is the foundation layer covering, which is the network itself of Lightstorm. On this network, which is the network as a service platform, a software defined journey for any enterprise, allow you to create data center interconnect, hybrid and multi-cloud connectivity, your IX and CDN connectivity, connect your branches to network edge, connect your layer 1 services of 10G or higher than that, and provision a virtual router, which is as good as any physical router, right? So since everything is virtualized, everything is OpEx based, your business risk or your business capacity of investing into a high CapEx model is completely reduced, right? So everything is subscription based. So as I have mentioned earlier, like you consume cloud, like you interact with cloud, you interact with the network as well. So all these key tenants, which is pay as you go, user specified bandwidth, self-serve platform, the API provisioning in few minutes, anything and everything you get on the single self-serve platform. Right. So the story doesn't stop here. So when we talk about network provisioning, anything that you provision on Polarin platform, you get a high degree of visibility, and anything and everything you create a network for. All the network metrics like jitter, packet loss, error rate, latency, packets in and out, you get a real-time monitoring dashboard that how your network is performing, right? And when your network is being monitored and preemptively triggered in case of any mishappen, you take a right business decision when it comes to the connectivity piece. So a complete transparent architecture, a complete high degree of visibility empowers you that how you control your network. So network is no longer a black box for any enterprise. It's a complete end-to-end visible scenario that how you monitor your cloud. Now you can monitor your network piece as well, how it is designed, how it is performing, and at what point it is failing. So this is the complete ecosystem when I talk about how Polarin as a product has been framed for the enterprises. So more than 150 enterprises are already using Polarin as a product, majorly from the Fortune 500 list. They have been using data centers or multi-cloud or hybrid cloud connectivity. As I have mentioned, we are pre-connected to 70 plus data centers, all the multi-tenant data centers like SIFI, STTs, Nextras of the world. And we are pre-connected to the cloud service providers, GCP, Azure, AWS, Oracle, etc. And all the prominent network players like Meta, Google, Netflix, pre-connected. So anything and everything you want to connect to, you can do that on a single platform without worrying about what is happening at the back end. We can ensure you that everything is private connectivity. We do not use any public internet in between. Everything is secure. And all you need to do is select your points A and B, the bandwidth between them, and place the order. And your network will be provisioned in a matter of minutes. Right. So these are some prominent use cases where the enterprises see themselves utilizing Polarin for. So the left side of this slide highlights that enterprises, the feedback that we have got from the market, the top level use cases they use Polarin for, which is the multi-cloud strategy, connecting multiple clouds and managing them at a wholesome stage, giving them the power of true resiliency that they can enjoy the benefits of both AWS, Azure, and handfully with GCP, Oracle, etc. Hybrid cloud strategy involved the connectivity to data centers as well. They can create a backup solution there as well, building a complete robust architecture for them. And if there is a short term high traffic need, you believe that your traffic will rise for, let's say, 1 week, 1 month, or 2 months, you increase the bandwidth for that period. And when your traffic is back to normal, you can decrease the bandwidth there and then. So that gives you the power of flexibility that how your network is interacting with your application. And of course, the cloud connectivity. So your cloud can directly talk to each other via Polarin. You do not need any physical setup or data center in between to have a backhaul system to connect one cloud to another cloud. So this is the cloud connectivity scenario that I was talking about. The left side highlights a complete hybrid architecture where a customer data center is connected or talking to AWS environment via Polarin, which is a software-defined networking platform, a true NAS platform that the customer gets. So all anything and everything the customer is doing on the platform, it's pure plug and play model. You can select your data center, you can select your desired AWS region, and you can get connected. Right? We are already their direct connect partner. Polarin is listed on AWS Marketplace. Polarin is a premium level partner for AWS, and we jointly acquire, hold, and serve many customers, many global customers together. Right? The right side of the diagram talks about the multi-cloud connectivity scenario, which requires your virtual router to be put in between. Right? So consider a virtual router as a simple layer 3 physical router only, which performs the dynamic routing between different network endpoints. Right? Can be GCP, can be data centers, Azure, etc. So it's a pure hub and spoke model for your virtual router to allow multiple clouds or multiple environments to talk to each other. The same setup, how Polarin enables the hybrid and multi-cloud connectivity scenario. Your AWS environment talk to Azure via virtual router, talking to multiple data centers, and it is not limited to India. You can connect your Singapore environment, you can connect your USA environment, etc., and have a complete global network mesh through a single platform. That's the power of NAS we are talking about. Right? So now we have understood that how Polarin empowers any organization, empowers any enterprise. We need to understand what is vital for any cloud architecture or an enterprise to how to build a well architected framework for any cloud. So the SLAs, when we talk about the SLAs for the cloud, we need to understand that when you are connecting to cloud, your network SLA is different, your cloud SLA is different, right? Your service provider is giving you the SLA for his networking piece. Then, of course, that is very much competitive in the market. But your cloud SLA is dependent upon how you architect your cloud architecture, how you build your cloud architecture, right? So if it's a single link, you are connecting your data center to a single cloud on ramp or a single device, you are building a non-redundant architecture. most of the cloud service provider give you no SLA around it. So in case your link fails, you cannot put a cloud service provider under liable condition to pay for your service breach or pay for your losses, revenue loss, etc., or pay in the form of credits. So there is no single SLA associated when you are creating a single link from your data center to cloud. But when it comes to redundant setup, where you are connecting your data centers or cloud using two ports or two virtual connection, which is a dual path connectivity, reaching to the cloud environment, it somewhat increases your SLA with up to 99.9%. So that's a SLA good enough for the enterprises running the moderately critical applications, but not for the business critical applications. So for business critical application, you need to move towards high redundancy or the maximum redundancy, where you are connecting two virtual connections, reaching to cloud to two different on ramps, which are geographically isolated, right? So these two on ramps, if one on ramp, which is one data center, fails, your other on ramp or data center should keep on running. So that's the high level redundancy that you create and gives you the added SLA of 99.95. So these are the cloud level SLA that any cloud service provider quote, and that is public on their website. And most of the enterprises are not aware of it. Right. And when we talk about maximum redundancy, which is the ideal scenario, which involves your mission critical applications to be hosted on cloud or your data center, you are connected to dual on ramps or dual connectivity, which is geographical isolated. So total of four virtual connections you are establishing from your data center or your customer premises, giving you power of four nines of SLA by any cloud service provider. So you can see that as you are architecting, as you are building a robust architecture, depending upon how many connections you take to reach to the cloud, your SLA is increasing gradually. So you can say that the complete end-to-end SLA, which is customer realized SLA, is not only dependent on the service provider like Lightstorm, it is also dependent on how you utilize that connectivity to reach to the cloud, how your cloud SLA or your cloud architecture is built upon. So if I just give you an example of this diagram, this is the maximum resiliency architecture, the best case of resiliency that you can create upon. So the left side of the diagram, which is the customer router, is connected to Polarin routers, which is a dual router power that we give to any enterprises for the resiliency. Each router is connected to uh, two devices where we have established the NNI with the cloud service providers. And these two devices are in single on-ramp, and these two devices are in different on-ramp. So two devices in two on-ramp. So this gives you the maximum resiliency, both at equipment level and both at geographical level. So here you can see that four virtual connections are in place, right? Two from this angle, two from this angle. So that in case any of the data center fails completely, you have router 3 and 4 running and subsequently router 1 and 2. Or if any Polarin router fails in any of the worst case scenario, you have another router already in place which is connected to different on ramp region. So this is the true resiliency that enterprises can build upon reaching to the cloud, which is a common region. So this is a highly recommended resilient architecture, which any service provider, any cloud service provider will recommend to the enterprise if you want to run mission critical applications on your cloud environment. That gives you the SLA of four nines. Right. So when we talk about building resiliency, it is very important to have multiple on ramps, which is your multiple data centers or multiple availability zones to be connected to your environment. If you are relying on single AZ or single on ramp location, then there is no SLA associated with it. You need to monitor your link. You need to keep a health check on how your link is established. And of course, you need to prioritize the backups if you want to be ready for any failover, right? So all these factors, which are the pillars of building a right resilient architecture, is being provided by Polarin. Right. So when we talk about designing the right cloud architecture, we need to understand that it does not burn our pockets also. Right. So when you are creating multiple virtual connections to single on ramp or dual devices or multiple on ramps, etc., you are creating additional cost for the enterprises. We need to understand that when you are building an architecture, it is well optimized with your application goals, with your performance goals, and with your cost implication goals, right? So if you are running multiple clouds, you're running some environment in some applications in AWS, some in GCP, and some in Azure, you need a single platform which helps you managing in these multi-cloud environment, because multi-cloud environment gets complex as and when the architecture grows. A single unified platform resolves your pain point of managing a multi-cloud environment, right? So that is one of the hidden traps that you need to think upon when you talk about a multi-cloud setup for your enterprise. There is a requirement of right skill when you're creating a right architecture. So some expertise that how your architecture should look like, expertise around that how your architecture should be optimized for the cost, that require the skill to be well predicted, that requires skill to be well architected for the design that you are building for cloud. And then we talk about integrations. There is a requirement that how your cloud or how your data centers are interacting with each other. So if they're interacting, let's say, uh, uh, on a non-integrated basis without APIs, there is a lag that how your data center is sharing data with your cloud environment, then of course it adds a deep burn in your pockets, right? How your applications are talking to each other in different environments. That also depends and that also matters a lot how you are architecting your cloud design, right? And then one of the primary factor which any enterprise tend to ignore is the egress cost, right? Which is your unpredictable cost when we talk about hybrid or multi-cloud architecture. If you are connecting your hybrid or multi-cloud architecture through internet, let's say, your egress charges are twice, in fact more than twice, as compared to the private connectivity egress charges, right? So technically, cloud punishes you when we talk about connecting to cloud via internet. So that comes as a bill shock for many enterprises when they are going to cloud and taking the data out over the internet. So that's a very cautious approach that any enterprise need to take, that private connectivity uh, is secure, is latency proof, is SLA driven, and does not burn your pocket as well. And the latency, the network latency, definitely in today's scenario, latency is the new currency. And when we talk about the data transfer between the on-prem setup and the public cloud, this can cause latency issues and your application performance. So doesn't do not fall in this traps when you are creating a multi and hybrid cloud setup. And of course, when you're relying everything on a single availability zone on a single platform, that gives you a single point of failure. So as I have mentioned at the start of the session, your application, uh, if it is hosted in cloud, your business is dependent upon the resiliency that you are building. So, if we talk about this ITES landscape, how this industry is being impacted when we talk about network downtime or cloud outages, there are certain challenges that are very prominent in this IT industry. right? Be it network latency issue, be it cybersecurity issue, the downtime, the complex hybrid multi-cloud, which we have already talked about, how it is impacting the business, right? So when we talk about the business impact for these ITs, whatever challenges that we have discussed in this session, we need to understand that it does not only impact the business that we are operating upon, it impacts the workforce, it impacts the credibility of the company, it impacts the users of the company, right? So there is some data formulated by uh, advisory agencies like Gartner, IDC, etc., where it has been seen that any minute of downtime for the IT industry can impact 4.6 lakh rupees for that particular enterprise in the IT industry, right? So that was in back in 2014. Now imagine this scenario where it is 3 to 4 times in this current period, right? So we can imagine the scale that if it is outaged uh, at a very extended period, how much business impact it will create for the for any IT company, right? So not just revenue, when we talk about the business and the hybrid workforce where everyone is remotely located, the Zscaler reports talk about that 58% of the workforce is impacted when there is some network outage. So you lose the productivity of your workforce if your connectivity between a hub or a branch or a data center or the cloud setup is impacted even for the shortest period of time, right? You increase your operational cost because when the outage happened, the recovery period adds on to the 20% of additional cost, right? And of course, your weak network performance uh, gives you uh, put you in a vulnerable state where any cybersecurity risk or cyber threat can happen to your setup, right? So these impact are too high to neglect, and we need to be cautious about that how we are creating the architecture where network is the core backbone of cloud and AI workloads. We need to understand that how your cloud is being pushed into the market, and to what segment your cloud environment is interacting and through what medium. Internet is a big no for that. So coming on to the NAS platform that we have discussed at the earlier part of this session, which is the Polarin solution, uh, the challenges that we have faced as a IT company or any other enterprise, which is the highest of latency, the downtime, etc. Polarin eliminates all these challenges end to end, right? So the network that we have designed reduces your latency by 30%, reduces your impact of flaps or jitter rate to a considerable amount as compared to the telco service providers. It gives you highest of throughput and highest of uptime, which is very critical for any enterprise building a resilient architecture. And as I have mentioned, it's completely on private connectivity. It does not use any internet in between. It's a single platform allowing you to manage, build, create, provision, monitor uh, any hybrid or multi-cloud architecture there and then. So that's the power of NAS platform that we have created for the enterprises, for the hyperscalers, and it has been testified, it has been accepted by majorly Fortune 500 companies who see some value how their network is performing uh, on the Lightstorm's network, right? So, as an enterprise, if you are planning to create a hybrid setup, if you're planning to create a multi-cloud setup, the biggest challenge that any enterprise face is the manageability, and that Polarin solves to a great extent, right? So, the cloud-ready environment for everything and anything on the complete NAS platform, Polarin gives you the power in hand. So, going forward, whatever we have discussed as a solution, as the industry norm, or Lightstorm as a company and Polarin as a solution, we will see through a demo, because theoretically everything looks fine. We will see practically that how easy it is to create a multi-cloud environment, let's say connecting two clouds or three clouds through a single platform in a matter of few minutes. So I'll introduce Yash from product team of Lightstorm. He will take everyone through an interactive Polarin live demo, where you will see that how multi-cloud connectivity will come into picture, and how you can easily establish without any network knowledge, without any technical knowledge in place, just a plug and play model. You can create a simple connectivity between two or three cloud environment. Yash, over to you if you're there.
Thanks, Raghav. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Yash Sharan, and I am the product manager for cloud networking. So, as you can see, this is the website polarin.lightstorm.net from where you can access the Polarin platform. You do a quick sign up, which is free. You'll receive a link on your email ID to verify your email ID. Once that is done, you can go ahead and log into the platform. So, once you log into the platform, this is how the platform looks like. So before I show you how you can spin up a multi-cloud connectivity in just three simple steps, I'll give you a quick platform walkthrough. So this is the services page. Whatever services you configure, whether it's a DC to DC, DC to cloud, cloud to cloud, all of that will be visible to you over here. The ports basically come into the picture whenever you are connecting data centers. Virtual routers come into the picture whenever you are doing a multi-cloud, hybrid cloud connectivity on layer 3. And virtual connection is basically the bandwidth that you're utilizing between your DC to DC, DC to cloud, or cloud to cloud connectivity. Next is the activity log section. This section records every activity that happens on the platform, whether it is something as small as a user logging in or a service going live. Everything is captured, and it also captures when it happened and who was the particular user who did that activity. The next is the organization section. Basically, once you sign up onto the platform, you need to do a quick KYC where you submit your letter of authorization, certificate of incorporation, which are a couple of mandated KYC documents you need to submit if it's a public limited or private limited company. All those documents that you've submitted would be visible to you under this section. Then we come to the user management section. So basically, there are 5 roles over here. System admin being the person who will have the maximum authority on the platform, followed by network admin, network viewer, finance admin, and finance viewer. So system admin can add, remove users. He can also make changes to the network configurations. Last is the billing profile. Under the in the billing profile section, you can add whichever entities you want to be billed to, separate entities that you would want to register for your invoicing. The next is the subscription and invoices section. Under the subscription section, you can see whatever services you have subscribed to, right from what is the billing cycle to the term contract, what is the status, and when did that particular subscription start. And under the invoices section, you can access all the invoices that are generated for your live services. Now I'll quickly show you how you can connect two clouds, which is AWS and Oracle, in a matter of minutes in just three simple steps. So you see this create button, you can go here and click on show all services. So we have the use cases also listed, which is cloud to cloud, DC to cloud, DC to DC, and you can individually also configure a port or a virtual router. So the first step is to create a virtual router. So now this virtual router can be placed in any data center where we are present. As Raghav mentioned earlier, we are present in 80 plus data centers in India as of today and 250 plus data centers globally. So let's say for this demo, I decide to place my virtual router in entity Mumbai DC2. You click on next. Now you can give any name to the virtual router as per your convenience. So for this particular demo, I will name it as Raghav also mentioned, we have the pay subscription model along with subscription models ranging from 1 year to 5 year. So just to give you an idea, the price summary of pay for a virtual router will be available to you over here. So for this demo, let's say I take a 12-month subscription term with no upfront payment. The price summary for the 12-month subscription term is visible to you over here, which is of course the list price. This is the annual recurring charge and this is your monthly recurring charge here. Then you go ahead and click on next. Now over here, this brings you to the checkout page. You can select your billing cycle, whether you want it to be monthly, quarterly, half yearly. Let's say I choose monthly. I say that I will provide the PO details later. I choose my billing entity, which particular entity I want to be billed to. I agree to the terms and conditions and go ahead and place the order. So once the order for the virtual router is successfully placed, it will automatically take you to the services page under the virtual router section. So as you can see, the virtual router has been successfully created. Now the page will be redirected directly to the services page. So we'll just give it a couple of seconds. So as you can see, we are in the services page under the virtual router section. Yeah, as you can see, the virtual router has already gone live, and this happened in less than a minute. So our step one, which was configuring, creating a virtual router, is already done. Now the next step is to connect your virtual router to your AWS cloud. So you see these three dots here. You can go ahead and click on add connection. Now your A end is already the virtual router that you have provisioned. Your B end would be a cloud. So you click on select the cloud option, select which cloud. For this demo, I'll show you that we are connecting first to the AWS cloud. So you click on AWS. Now you will get a list of on-ramp locations. Basically, this is where the handshake happens between Lightstorm and AWS via APIs. So let's say I choose Equinix MB1 as the on-ramp location. I enter my AWS account ID and I go ahead and click on next. Now this is the virtual connection between your virtual router towards your AWS cloud, basically the bandwidth that you want to utilize. So again, you can name the virtual connection as per your convenience. Let's say it is VC VR to AWS. Rate limit, let's say for demo purposes, I choose it as 100 Mbps. Again, we have the payee option as well as subscription terms ranging from 1 year to 5 years. So let's say I choose 12 months, no upfront payment. Again, the price summary, which is the list price, of course, will be visible to you over here. This is the annual recurring charge and this is your monthly recurring charge. Go ahead and click on next. It will take you to the checkout page, where again you can choose your billing profile, monthly, quarterly, half yearly. You will provide the PO details later, choose your billing profile and place the order. So again, once the order is successfully placed, it will take you to the services page, this time under the virtual connection section, because we've successfully created our virtual connection from our virtual router towards the AWS cloud. So as you can see, the virtual connection has been created. Now a ping has gone on the AWS console. Once you go ahead and accept that ping, configure your network, your circuit towards the AWS cloud will be up and running. Now our second step has also been successfully completed. First step was to create the virtual router. Second step to connect the AWS cloud to the virtual router. Now the third step is to connect the same virtual router to the next cloud, which is Oracle Cloud. So again, you go back to the virtual router section in the services page. Click on add connection. Again, choose cloud. Now here, this time we will be choosing Oracle Cloud. You enter your service key, click on verify. Now again, you will get the options to choose for the on-ramp location. This is basically where the handshake happens between Lightstorm and Oracle via APIs. So let's say I choose Equinix MB1. I click on next. Now this is the virtual connection that you're creating between your virtual router towards your Oracle Cloud. So again, you can name it as per your convenience. So let's say I name it as VCVR to Oracle demo. Rate limit, let's say again, I take 100 Mbps. Subscription terms again ranging from payee 1 year to 5 years. Let's say I take 12 months, no upfront payment. Again, the price summary, which is the list price of course, will be visible to you over here. Annual recurring charges, monthly recurring charges. Click on next. Again, you choose your billing cycle, you provide the PO details later, you choose your billing entity, agree to the terms and conditions, and go ahead and place the order. Again, once the order is successfully placed, it will take you back to the services page under the virtual connection section. So you will be able to see over here that your Oracle cloud, the link towards Oracle cloud has also been successfully created. As you can see over here, this will shortly also go live. So this is how you can easily, connect, do a multi-cloud connectivity in just a matter of minutes. And as we speak, I will also show you from where you can monitor your link, basically the performance metrics and how it can be accessed. So once your link is configured, accepted, it will go into a live state. Once it goes to live, this particular button that you can see, which reads performance metrics, will go live. Once you click on this, you can see the complete network performance of that particular link, whether it's traffic in, traffic out, packet in, packet out, errors, packet loss, what is the latency, what is the jitter rate, is the availability as per standard SLA or the expected SLA. All these details would be available to you on the Polarin platform itself. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box, and we'll take them up at the end of this particular webinar. This was it from my end to give you the platform on to give you the demo on Polarin platform. Over to you, Raghav. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Yash. So I believe that that gave you a good practical overview that how uh, Polarin as a product is catering to a simple multi-cloud or hybrid cloud setup. When we talk about how quick it is, how agile it is uh, to cater any enterprise level connectivity using Lightstorm's network. So this was the demo overview, and just to highlight towards the end of the session, we as a company provides 15-day free trial to any enterprise for cloud connectivity, be it hybrid or multi-cloud setup. 15 days if you want to test our network, if you want to test our platform, how it is complementing your business goals and how it is making your life easier for the connectivity piece. And no questions asked, but this piece of uh, uh, free trial, 15-day free trial is available till 31st of December 2025. I will urge everyone to utilize this and see the power of connectivity yourself, and see that how easy it is to set up a multi and hybrid cloud architecture. So we cover all the regions, all cloud service providers, and there are certain terms and conditions where you can put a bandwidth up to 10 Gbps, which is good high enough to start with a free trial. And the multi-cloud free trial, of course, you can connect any cloud using our virtual router. So thank you so much for your time, and I'm hopeful that I was able to cater to all the points that were intent to be. And towards the end of the session, we can definitely say that which was the heading of our session, that can cloud hamper your digital transformation? The answer is yes, if it is not built right, and but it has absolute power to give you the right infrastructure if the architecture is done right, and if it is well accepted and well aligned with the well architected framework of the cloud service providers. So thank you so much.
So it's now time to take up the questions. All right. So the first question that we have is from Mr. Siddesh. It says SLA would be if height or max redundancy fails for any reason, then within how much time service should be restored?
So that totally depends upon the service provider and the cloud service provider. So it is available on the website. But when I talk about Lightstorm, the restoration time, or usual the industry norm as well, is 4 hours, which is the mean time to restore, MTTR, which is the 4 hours one. And for the cloud service provider, it totally depends that how well your architecture is, and if you have taken any professional services, if there is any business plan running. That's how the cloud models run.
All right. I hope this answers your question, Mr. Siddesh. We have two questions from Mr. Raghavinder Tomar. He asks, what monitoring and integration features are included? Can it integrate with our existing monitoring system?
Yeah, so the integration and monitoring features are there on Polarin platform, but it currently it does not integrate with other monitoring features if you have a private monitoring system in place. But we definitely are building that roadmap where our monitoring feature can integrate at API levels or through APIs with your monitoring. But we are definitely happy to connect with you if your monitoring APIs can interact with our monitoring APIs and both can coexist as per your convenience. So that is completely an API model, and we have open APIs in place. So we can definitely consider that.
All right. He also asks that do you have price comparison with other service providers?
So that totally depends upon the use case. Our prices are live on Polarin platform, which Yash showed a while ago, and but we are very much competent. We are very much competitive for the prices in the industry. And in short, I can only say that we do not lose any deal because of pricing. So that's it.
That's great. All right. So another question is from Mr. Ranjan Kumar. It says, what are the prerequisite to take this service?
So for the multi-cloud scenario, since everything is pre-connected and does not involve any physical equipment to be in place, you can start with this service in few minutes. There are no set of prerequisites as such. It's just you need to do a simple KYC when you are onboarding or signing up yourself on the Polarin platform, where it involves your company documents, your let's say certificate of incorporation, your GST, etc. It's more like a KYC to create your organization and billing profile, and it's a one-time activity. Once you are done, you can start provisioning the services. We have 15 days free trial, and you can test the platform on your own.
All right. Mr. Ashish here asks, what will be your game plan if any outage comes in Polarin?
So we have our SLA published on our website. So that totally depends that so we have our service credits in place. So if there is any outage for our SLA committed, let's say if we commit 4 nines for any inter metro connectivity, and let's say 3 9 or 100% for the metro connectivity. So if we breach that, we give the service credits which you can utilize on the Polarin platform itself, like you receive the cloud credits. So you receive the service credits for the Polarin platform, and you can definitely use that if we breach the SLA.
All right. Mr. Ashish also asks that for each connection we need to pay, and does this platform has 2FA?
So 2FA, we will soon have. It is definitely under production, and yes, for the connection, we need to pay, but that totally depends because most of the enterprises took when they are building a resilient architecture with Polarin, they avail some good discounts, avail some good models from the cloud service providers, from Lightstorm as well, because we definitely want them to create a resilient architecture. But yeah, no link will be free of cost, I would say. But definitely the subsequent links, the DR setup or your NDR setup can be at a discounted price.
Wonderful. So our next question is from Mr. Natarajan. He asks that what kind of strategy and framework are followed?
So that I would request to be more specific around it. But yeah, when I'm assuming that strategies and framework when it comes to our architecture, our own architecture, uh, everything is on network level. Every data center, every cloud region is connected on the three-path optical network. So you do not need to worry about if there is any path cut on that piece. So we have built a super resilient architecture at network level. We request the enterprises to connect to cloud at a redundant level, because if you are putting a single link at place, you lose out on the SLA piece. And when it comes to our own network, it is three-path optical setup that we have created for any enterprise.
All right. Our next question is from Mr. Srisan. When integrating on-prem data center with AWS via Direct Connect or VPN, What security controls do you recommend to ensure least privileged network access, strong identity enforcement, and encrypted data flows?
So, of course, when we talk about the least privilege access and identity enforcement, AWS has its feature which is IAM. You can definitely utilize that when you're putting that connectivity in place. But when it comes to VPN-based connectivity, you can have uh, on that piece encryption in place. But again, that is internet at the end of the scenario. But internet is definitely not safe when it comes to connecting your on-prem setup to private or your cloud service provider. But when it comes to direct connect, which is the private connectivity, that holds very much security feature which is being compared to VPN or any other service. And if you want to run some encryption model like MACsec encryption, you can procure a dedicated direct connect service which will enable you to run MACsec encryption on the as a part of private connectivity, which is the added layer of security that you can avail. But for the identity enforcement, you can definitely use IAM service of AWS.
That's great. So we have another question from Mr. Ranjan. He says how it is different from Cisco Meraki.
So Cisco Meraki is, of course, that's the SD-WAN model, which requires your equipment to be in place and which runs on the MPLS network. All in all, it gives you that software-defined feel, but at the underlay, it needs to be run with the MPLS devices, which you place in every branch, and that complete network mesh needs to be created. So a heavy capex is required to start using your SD-WAN architecture. But when it comes to Polarin, everything is pre-connected, everything is virtualized. Uh, Simply like you use cloud, like you use compute or storage, you do not deploy your own servers in data center. You simply use a virtual machine as per the capacity you want. And similarly, you just create a virtual connection or a virtual router on Polarin platform without deploying any physical equipment in place. Unlike the SD-WAN model, which requires a physical device in the form of MPLS in the branch or in a hub location, etc. Uh, Meraki at the end of it gives you software defined architecture, but it runs on a network, an MPLS network that you need to create first. So a capex as a trade-off that comes with Cisco Meraki, but Polarin gives you the power of virtualization at the end of it.
That's great. All right. So next question is from Mr. Puneet. He asks any major issue Polarin faced in the last 1 to 3 years, and what was the impact and resolution time?
So, no major impact as such, but uh, since we have deployed dual routers and three-path network optical resiliency for every enterprise. So, for example, if you are connecting your Noida data center to Mumbai data center, we have dual routers in place in every data center. We have three paths at optical level. So, not a critical outage that we have faced for any enterprise. But if that outage happens, again, if it breaches the SLA, we are ready to, we gave the service credits to the enterprises. And, but that was not the service impacting outage for any enterprise or the feedback that we have got. And the mean MTTR that we commit for most of our services is 4 hours, mean time to resolve.
All right. So the next question is from Mr. Mahesh. He asks, what is monitoring and troubleshooting tool?
So we have deployed. So we have our technology partners in place, like Nokia, Sienna, and there is Cisco, where we are using their integrations, their tools, which is well integrated at network at software level. So these are the technology partners that we have deployed in our framework and architecture to serve the enterprises.
All right. Mr. Martin here asks, list of tools which you can integrate with. Is your product available on Azure Marketplace?
Yeah, so we are there on Azure Marketplace, definitely. And the tools that we can integrate depends on the API compatibility. And you can let us know the tools that you want to integrate. We can check on the APIs because we have open APIs in place. And we'll be happy to connect if you want to integrate any specific tool, and we can evaluate the APIs further.
All right. Our next question is from Mr. Cletus D'Souza. This platform mentioned can be scaled. There will be a physical limitation that per connection, once amalgamated, that a respective farm can accommodate. What's that number and threshold? How can this be managed accordingly?
So when you are putting a scalability for any virtual connection, that totally depends on your network endpoint. So if your cloud port is high enough, let's say 1 Gbps, 5 Gbps, 10 Gbps, that keeps a cap on your service bandwidth. So if your service bandwidth can be is of let's say 500 Mbps, and your cloud port is of 1 Gbps, you cannot scale beyond 1 Gbps unless and until you scale up your cloud port as well. So there is no limitation at the network level because we have very high availability at on the network side. But there is it is a keep on let's say endpoint, network endpoint that you're connected to, be it cloud or data center. At data center, of course, it is port. What is the port capacity that you have taken, 1G, 10G, or 100G? And what is the cloud port you have taken? So these two parameters define what will be your service bandwidth. It can be scaled from our end, it can be scaled up to 100 Gbps. So no subsequent limit on that piece.
All right. So Mr. Rahul asks, as you deployed Polarin in two different DCs, Entity and AWS, obviously, AWS added AWS usages in their bill, but what about Entity? The cost of other DC is included into Polarin subscription model. Does it do TLS or IDPS or IDS as well?
So when you're connecting a data center, if you want to have two ports in place to connect to cloud, uh, then of course it adds to your cost, which is cost of two ports and subsequently two cross connects. But we have the provision of using multi-service port where you can use a single port and extend as many virtual connections as possible and connect to different cloud regions. So that will save your cost around port and the cross connect. So a single, and that's why say cost savings at the data center side. So a single port can serve the purpose, but of course that gives you a single point of failure. But if you want to have dual port, you need to put it price for two ports, uh, X amount, so 2 into X, and similarly cross connects, which is a single cross connect for each port. And does it do TLS, IDPS, IDS? Yes, it does.
All right. So our last question is from Mr. Rahul only. How flexible it is to scale up and scale down? Will it cost fixed charges?
So it is super flexible. The platform that you have seen gives you the power to update the bandwidth as and when required, and be it data center connectivity, be it cloud connectivity. Scaling down puts some limitation on the side. You need to be on the pay-G model, which is pay-as-you-go model, to scale up and down. But under reserved model, which is 1 year, 3 year, 5 year contract, you can only scale up. So these are certain terms and conditions because this is also dependent upon how cloud allow you to scale up and down. So this is not only in the hand of Lightstorm, but yeah, when you want to scale up and down and you see that your business is volatile on that virtual connection, we would recommend to use a pay model, which is billing by the hour. And then you can scale up and down, delete or create a connection as and when you want.
Great. So thank you so much for those thoughtful responses, sir. Moving on to the next part of our segment. And now it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for, our spin the wheel segment. So let's spin the wheel and see who our lucky winners are. So our first winner is Mr. Vinay. Congratulations, Mr. Vinay. You win rupees 2000. All right. Next. Our next winner is Mr. Shailendra Pal. Congratulations, sir. You win rupees 1000. Now moving on to our next winner. Congratulations, Mr. Nishant. You also win rupees 1000. So congratulations to all the winners. You'll be contacted shortly for your prizes. So this brings us to the end of today's session. It's been a fantastic discussion on building fail-proof cloud networks for digital transformation. A heartfelt thank you to our speaker, Mr. Raghav Kathuria, for sharing such valuable insights, and to all our attendees for joining in and making this session truly engaging. This is Malika signing off on behalf of India IT 360 and Lightstorm. Thank you once again for such a great session, and have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.